Kate from NORCAM. With the holidays right around the corner, we decided that we'd make a little video to show you how to wrap gifts of all different shapes and sizes, from things that are rather square and easy to wrap to things that might not come in a box and might be awkward shaped. So that might make wrapping a little bit more difficult. So first things first, you're going to need some wrapping paper and some scissors, tape, and to make some things a little bit easier, you're going to need some sort of a box, and to make it a little more festive when they open the present, some tissue paper. So let's start with the easy thing to wrap. You just want to lay out the paper. You want to make sure that you have enough paper to cover the whole gift because you want it to be a surprise. So once you have it laid out with enough paper, you're just going to cut the paper off from the roll. And then you're going to place the object right in the center. And what we're wrapping is a book, but this works for anything that's square, any sort of box, books, DVDs, CDs, anything of the sort. So I look like I've gotten myself a little too much paper here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the book over until when I fold over one side, it covers a decent portion of the book. Then I'm going to trim off the other side. And save the trimmings if it's a big enough piece, because if you have something smaller that would fit in this, you consolidate and you save some of your paper. So once the book is in the middle and you have a good ratio between the present to the paper, you're going to fold over one side and then fold over the other, hold it there, and grab a piece of tape and tape it, and it'll stay in place. And then for the ends, we have a lot of paper going on over here, so I'm going to trim it again. The ends can be a little more difficult. There's two ways that you can do this, or at least that I do it, so I'll show you both ways, one on each end. This one, I take it and I kind of just fold it in the middle on both sides. So when I've done that, I've kind of got a little triangle at the top and at the bottom on both layers. And then I fold the top piece down and really hit those creases so it folds nicely. And then you bring the rest of it up. And then you grab more tape, put the tape down, there you go. The other way that I do it is I just fold down from the crease here, and then you can, once you have more of a crease of the shape of the gift, if you fold in from the sides, it's going to look like you're making little triangles or pyramids. You fold in from the corners, and then you fold that all down, and you have one big triangle at the bottom. And then you pull that in, then you tape it. Then you have yourself a nice wrapped gift that you can put a label on, you can put ribbons on, you can either tie ribbons or get those sticky ones that you just put on, and there you go. You have a nice wrapped gift. Now, let's say you're going to give somebody something a little bit more unconventionally shaped, like a stack of DVDs. Say you have somebody, either blank CDs or DVDs, say you have a musician that records a lot of things, or a person that makes all their own movies. This would be a great gift. So I'll show you how to wrap this by itself, because clearly, since they're circular, they come in a circular container. You're going to cut more paper off, and then just like with the book, you're going to place it in and see how much paper you're going to need. And then if you want the present to look nice, And since the bottom is bigger than the top, I suggest that you wrap it upside down. So all the taped up stuff is on the bottom, and then when you place it right side up, it looks nice from the top. So first things first, what I would do is I would bring it from both corners and tape it that way. And then I would trim off these really long ends, because if you try to fold it in, it's going to get a little crazy. There's one. There's the other. So now, like we did with the box, you kind of want to fold the sides in as best you can. And then fold up that last little triangular piece. Grab a piece of tape, secure it to the paper, and then do the same thing with the other side. So you're going to flatten it all down once you bring it in, and bring the last piece up. And then secure it with the tape, flip it over. You have yourself a wrapped gift that's not even in a box. Now, some people might be able to guess what this is. So if you want to disguise it, the best thing to do is to find a box for the object and put it in the box. Now, first you're going to want to get a box that is big enough for your gifts. This is the smallest box I could find from around the office, so the things going in the box might be a little bit tiny, but it's fine. It'll throw people off from what's actually inside. Now, when you're putting things into a box that it didn't actually come in that box, a good way to make it nice and festive when they open the box is to use some sort of tissue paper. You can get festive tissue paper, you can get plain white, or just a solid color. And you just kind of want to put it in the box, kind of hanging out. And then take the items that you would like to place inside, like a bottle of hand cream or a stapler. And then once they're in there, you're going to wrap the paper around it, so once they open the box, they still have no idea what it is yet. You got to go through another layer. And then most people will probably wrap in a shirt box, which is just a lid, so you'll just put the lid on the box. But this here, we have ourselves a nice little shipping box, so I'm just going to put some pieces of tape on it just to keep it secure while I try to wrap it. Once you have it in the box, same thing like the other two gifts. You got to measure out your paper, make sure you have enough. Put the box right in the center. And it's always better to end up with too much paper, because if you don't have enough, then you can see part of the gift, or you have to tape other pieces of paper back onto the gift, and it looks kind of weird. So, place your box in the middle of the paper, like so. And this is just like when I was wrapping the book. It's nice and easy because it's square shaped, especially where you have things that are shaped like a tube of hand cream or a stapler. Those might get kind of difficult to wrap. So then, like I did with the other gift, I'm going to bring the paper in. Looks like I've got a little too much, so I'll just take off a little bit. Be careful with the scissors if you're clumsy like me. You don't want to cut yourself. While you're trying to cut some of the paper off, it might look like the wrapping paper is getting a little ugly, but those edges will be hidden once you actually wrap the gift. So you're going to bring the paper in and flatten it to all the creases. bring those two little ends together. Secure it with some tape. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, which this looks like it's going to be too much as well. And the paper can be a little bit of a pain sometimes, because if it starts to get its own creasing pattern when you're trying to fold it, it'll just be a little bit of a hassle, because it'll want to do its own thing while you're trying to fold it a certain way. So now you have some nicely wrapped gifts of all different sizes. You have the gift that nobody knows what it is because it's oddly shaped but concealed in a box. You have an oddly shaped gift that you can manage to wrap on its own, but people might be able to guess what it is. And then you have your book or whatever it is that's easy to do because it's already square or rectangular. So that's just a short little tutorial on how to wrap gifts, and those of us at NORCAM hope you have a happy holidays.
Daylight. No big deal.
Yeah.
Alright.
Magic hour for a racing day.
Can I keep that magic hour lighting in here?
Yeah. Alright, ready?